Welcome everyone to Wonder Women in Business podcast. My name is Jasmine Sandler. I'm here today with Alexandra Harper of Women of Culture. Very excited to have her on board. And again, the mission of Wonder Women in Business podcast is to deliver stories about women supporting women and women helping women in business. So get excited for the treat today.
Yeah.
Again, Alexandra, thank you so much for joining me today. It's taken us a few times to get together.
Right, yeah, no, this is perfect. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I thought we would start by, I just gave a brief on who you are.
Right.
But I knew you're doing tremendous things to bring arts into the community and more importantly, bring women together around the arts to make a difference.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about Women of Culture and how you started it and why?
Yeah, sure. So Women of Culture is a community I started about 3 years ago to bring women together to experience the arts. And it's all about the idea that the arts are really a powerful tool for self-discovery, learning about the world, discovering new perspectives, and all things that can really help women empower and inform themselves. So we do 2 to 3 events a month, and we do a lot of things. We're in the best city for it, and that was part of my mission in starting it, was also just to encourage myself and other people as well to get out and experience, all the amazing things going on in the city. And I believe the arts are really the lifeblood of New York. So I kind of feel like, if you're not engaging in the arts here, then why are you living here?
Alexandra, I agree.
So
many times in New York we say we're going to leave, but the arts keep us here.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's so true.
Yeah. So we do a lot of things like going to museums or galleries, performance events as well, always with some sort of social aspect time to bond with the other women in the group, and then also to either meet or hear from the creator, so that you're getting another level of engagement and really having a chance to understand the art that we're experiencing.
So it's more private and curated, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference that you bring?
Yeah, it's also about, my own curation and having a really close pulse on what's going on in the art scene here, and showing people what really is worth their time and money, and picking things that are really going to be worth it. Because, we're all busy, and
that is true.
Right? So,
yes.
But even 3 events a month, I could probably do more, because there is so much going on. But those are, definitely, I think, kind of, and also we keep it varied, so it's visual and performing arts. So,
okay.
Yeah, so there's a chance to engage with both kinds of art.
Okay, so a couple things about your audience.
Yeah.
I'd like to know about.
Sure.
So because this podcast is really for women in business that want to live enriched lives and not just work every minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about when the women who do business and work very hard here in the city come to your events.
Yeah.
What happens? What's like the magic that happens? Do they connect with each other?
Right.
Do they take away something from it? And how do you think that then impacts their everyday life in the community here in New York?
Yeah, I think that's very important. I mean, all of the members and attendees that come to the events are primarily professional working women. They have busy lives, some mothers, there's a wide age range, so I'd say mid-20s to 60s that come.
That's pretty wide
range.
So
which I think is also kind of unique, because we really it's nice to have a chance to interact with women of different generations and learn from each other. But, so I think that really, as I mentioned, it's a chance to discover new ideas and perspectives, and maybe learn about an art form or an artist that you were not previously familiar with. That's always one of my favorite parts of the events, like having someone come who maybe has never really experienced modern dance, and then to see them.
Sure,
and I think a lot of people that have come repeatedly have, knock on wood, like, sort of trust my opinion, so they'll maybe try something that they might not have normally gone to on their own, and that can really open up a whole new world for people. And I think, it is a form of personal development, because it is a way of learning and, continuing to grow and being open and being, you know, encouraging open-mindedness and critical thinking as well. So, you know, all
That's
of our...
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of our events, we, you know, after we go to performance or exhibit, we talk about it. What did we like? What did we dislike? You know, what are our thoughts about it? And another thing I really like is I think the arts are great for introverted people.
Well,
which, yeah, which I kind of consider myself.
Most artists that I know, I'm very much involved with the artist community.
Yeah.
A lot of them are introverted, so.
Right,
yeah.
and I think this group, I've noticed in the community, there's a lot of women who might be a bit more shy, but it's a way for them to discover their voice and kind of...
That's great.
And, you know, have a chance to, and I think this is part of what I love about the arts, too, because it helped me to be able to say, well, no, you know, I like this, no, I don't like that, and kind of, you know, just develop, you connect to yourself while also, you know, connecting to the world around you. So.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because we talk a lot about that, and you know what I do, and some of the women that I deal with, it's all about becoming your true self and finding your passion, and then having impact through your passion and being happy in what you do.
Yeah,
so
very important.
So, you know, I want to get a little bit deeper.
Yeah, sure.
Because I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
You know, it is really good on so many levels.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because I love the arts, you know, and I think most women do.
Yeah, I
and
think
we tend to be a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
But I guess what I want to get deeper on is to understand with what you're doing, you know, you're spending your time, your efforts, your money in this, right?
Yeah.
So in what you're doing, what is your individual mission for helping women?
Right.
Whether it's in business, whether it's through self-discovery, you know, what's your mission and how are you delivering upon that?
Yeah. I think my mission is actually quite large. I mean, I think, you know, it's like you got to start small, you got to start somewhere.
Good point.
You know, I like
getting this podcast to work.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's like everything, you know, everything makes a difference. I you know, I have to believe that you know, even a small community can change the world. I think that's like a Margaret Mead quote or whatever, you know. So for me, you know, I think, as I mentioned, it is definitely about empowering, inspiring, and connecting women in the city, you know, starting here, hopefully broadening and, you know, going...
Right, one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. But on a larger scale, it's really also about creating community, prioritizing community and especially female friendships in you know, in our lives, and like recognizing how important those are. You know, I always have said that I don't think women will ever gain, you know, full equality until we can really come together and support one another.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
We can't, because then we're fighting against each other.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Right. I mean, I think that's, you know, a symptom of being in a patriarchal system is that, you know, we end up competing with each other. But so,
of course.
To fight that, you know, we need to continue to come together and, you know, as much as we can find, you know, unity and oneness. And we all are... Yeah. You know, we all have some similarities, and that's another thing I love about the arts, because I think it does help you to kind of see, like, oh, maybe I'm not really, this is not a person maybe I would normally hang out with, but we both like this kind of art, and so we have something
to talk
similarity, and so I think beyond that, to me, I always say I believe the arts are the antidote to the divisiveness and loneliness that's really kind of plaguing the society right now. Yeah. Really prominent in the world, unfortunately, at this moment.
I know, it's so ironic, actually, if you think about it. Because the way the society is supposed to be going with ridiculous advances in technology is to bridge the gaps of global, you know, isolation, but it's made us more isolated,
I think a lot of people feel more isolated.
Yeah, studies have shown this, which is nuts.
More lonely. Yeah. You know, there's tons of studies about people feeling more and more disconnected and really craving in-person connections.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's something that's also, in a way, an opportunity for women to rise. And I think we are. Yes. I love it. I love it. It's great. Because, I mean, you know, gets a little into stereotypes, but, you know, I do think that women just are naturally better, like, caretakers. We are naturally more empathetic, compassionate.
Social creatures.
Yeah. And those values have not been prioritized in our kind of patriarchal society up until now. So I think people are really feeling the effects of that and like this kind of extreme capitalism, especially in New York, where we have you
have to make money.
Yeah, so you know, just go, and very everything about how much money you make, how much
what do you have,
material possessions and competition and individualism, and I think women have a chance to really now say like, this is not working for us. Like, look at what's going on in the world. We need to, we need to really look at like, how are we taking care of each other as human beings? How are we, finding our passion and really living purposeful lives instead of, just lives motivated by money. So, that to me, I think is where this community also has a chance to really find its place and grow and bring more, I say, artful values into the world.
I like that, artful value.
Yeah,
and that's going to be the name of your new business, right?
Yeah,
Artful,
so we are
artful,
rebranding as Artful with 2 L's because it's also about living a full and fulfilled life by bringing the arts into every part of your life. I think there's a place for arts in business and in the corporate world as well.
Oh,
that,
absolutely.
hasn't been explored.
So let me ask you a question, because my first interview was with the woman Natalia.
Okay.
And her brand is Natalia Music, and we're both musicians. Well, she's much more professional than I am. But she's a professional opera singer and absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And her mission is really about helping musicians, helping them to understand, and that's why I interviewed with her, to understand how to be business owners and how to support their communities. And so a question for you that kind of dovetails off of that conversation is, how in what you're doing, or I don't know if this even is part of what you're doing, how are you helping the female artists to help each other? Because you're talking about bringing women together to support each other, which is what this is all about. So are you doing something in the fabric of your business to bring female artists together in a way to build their value and help them to make an impact?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think our primary mission is about creating community and helping people engage with the arts, but that automatically kind of has a secondary mission of helping artists and arts institutions as well, and especially female artists, because like in every other industry, female women have struggled, and when you think about art history, like
I know
it's all men, all the famous ones, and it's not because there weren't female artists, it's just they never
I know there's this stigma. I know a lot of artists that say, well, male artists are better. Look at the history.
No.
Because that's what we see. We see the Raphael, we see the Dante, the blah, 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 the Michelangelo.
Right.
But maybe we just didn't actually visibly see the women. So I think that's kind of interesting,
and I think
right?
they also weren't encouraged to be artists. For many women,
they weren't commissioned.
Yeah, and they, there was that great retrospective at the Guggenheim of Hilma F. Clint. Like she actually hid her art because
I didn't know
she knew that she was not allowed as a woman to be an artist, other than being like still life illustrator, scientific illustrator.
Yeah.
Like, so she was, at that time it was like really considered wrong for a woman to be an artist. So there's, I think then there must be, hundreds of others that
have to be,
are slowly coming to the surface and being discovered, and it's sad they weren't discovered in their own time.
I know, that is true.
But yeah, no, I definitely, most of my events focus on female artists. Whether, we went to the Hilma F. Clint show, we see a lot of female choreographers or performances that are written by or performed by women in some way. And I really, as we continue to grow, I do want this to be a resource for female artists.
That's great.
Yeah, especially emerging artists in New York, because there are just so many.
There's so many.
They're so talented.
They're so talented,
and,
I know.
I'm all about also like giving a voice to artists, and that's a huge part of our events is being able to interact with the artists and hear their point of view and their inspiration, and really, because they always have so much to say. They always have, there's so much to teach us too.
That is true.
So that's definitely part of.
Well, that's tremendous, because I've seen in just my everyday life here in New York, and most of my friends are talented people. Most of them are female. I see their struggle. And I also see organizations and galleries, and not just art, music, film, where it's been a struggle for them. So I think what you're doing, by impacting artists,
yeah,
you're impacting the bigger community as a whole.
right.
I think so. Getting to that,
Yeah.
I know that you had mentioned a little bit about support, that about your audience being primarily female professionals coming in, and I myself am involved with some companies and bringing the arts to companies. So tell me about where you see that going. Where do you see? Because you mentioned something that was interesting about
bringing art into
critical
business
thinking.
and
I wanted to ask you about that, but I was just listening. Tell me more about how art can help to bring critical thinking into companies and where you see that.
Yeah, I mean, well, again, there's so many studies, so much statistics around the fact that employees are so unhappy in their jobs, and I think something like 80% of U.S. workers are, unhappy in their jobs or something like that, and at the same time, companies struggling to attract and retain top talent.
Sure,
and, it's also been proven that creativity is one of the most desirable qualities in any employee. So I think engaging with the arts, experiencing the arts, is such a huge way to build creativity, creative thinking, and that's just because you have to. I mean, you can just kind of look at something and not think about it, but if you are being encouraged to discuss it or to share your opinion about it, it's just automatically going to kind of
inspire that thinking.
Inspire some critical thinking, and really, through my events, I've seen these women come together and be able to have amazing conversations that go far beyond the piece.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like a great starting point, I think. So, so I'm really excited about that because I think that I have, worked in numerous corporate environments.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that. That we have a similar background in advertising.
And I think there's a lot of room to really improve corporate culture by bringing, more of the arts and culture into the corporate environment.
Sure, and also, I don't know if you've thought about this, but, in my work, I'm bridged between supporting companies and their executives and building their voice and entrepreneurs through the conference series and everything.
Yeah.
And the individual female entrepreneurs, they definitely can strengthen themselves and as well as strengthen their employees, even if they have a small employee group, by inspiring that creativity. Because at the end of the day, every company that I've seen succeed, and I'm talking about the small growth businesses, they succeed through innovation. Right? And I think that what you're doing has a part to play in that innovation. Right? So my point is, I think that, on the corporate side, considering that to aid in that improving employee satisfaction, as you mentioned, but also on the entrepreneurial side, where do you see it helping female entrepreneurs? Because there must be a large base of people that sign up for Women of Culture, right?
Yeah, there are. I mean, it's interesting. It's a mix right now. I'd actually say maybe more are corporate, professionals, but there are definitely some entrepreneurs. But there's so many similarities between art and entrepreneurship.
I know.
I mean, it's all about creating something out of nothing, right? And
making something that you can own.
And envisioning a future that doesn't exist yet, or envisioning a painting or a piece of dance or theater that is totally out of your own head. So I think there's a lot of crossover and lessons to be learned, and I think that as an entrepreneur, I've definitely gained a lot of inspiration from the arts, and I think it goes back also to that critical thinking and the ability of the arts to open your mind to new possibilities, and that is so necessary when you're an entrepreneur. You have to be so resourceful.
Okay, Alexandra, so I just have 2 more questions for you today.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to know when your next event is going to be and what people can expect.
Yeah, so our next event is this Saturday, May 18th. We're having an art and meditation event at the Susan Ely Gallery. So it'll be really fun because it will be a combination. We'll do a little meditation, intro to meditation principles, and also get to hear from the artist Francie Hester, whose work is on view. And then on June 2nd, we're going to be doing a tour of the Lower East Side street art.
Fun.
June 4th, we're going to see Kiss Me Kate on Broadway. So we have a lot of really great stuff coming up.
Nice. Okay, and then the last question is, so how can people get tickets and attend and meet meet you and meet me because I'm coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially the street one.
I know, yeah, the street art. So it's womenofculture.org, and all the events are listed there. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Women of Culture NYC. So, yeah, I hope to see you all there.
Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.